we've talked about adding loads, and we talked about adding carriers and how the documents for the carriers stay with the carriers and how the documents with the loads stay with the loads. So let's talk about the customers, adding customers. Now, right now I just have one customer. Let's add a new customer. Let's enter U-ship. And they're based in Austin. So let's hit that one, and you see it autofills for you. Now, sometimes they're not going to be listed, and you have to fill this out all on your own. But it's pretty much the same as building a load or adding a carrier. You just gotta fill out the forms, fill out as much information as possible. The only difference on this one is the accounting portion of it. We're going to give them credit limits. Our factoring company isn't going to just let us have a whole bunch of outstanding invoices. You know, a customer could only have a certain amount of credit owed to him, and whatever credit our factoring company determines is the amount that we're going to have to put here. So if our factoring company only lets us process $10,000 of invoices per customer, then that's the amount that we're going to put here. But we won't know that information until we run them through the factoring company. So after you fill all this out, what you would do is send me, well, once we sign on a customer, and you would send me the information, and I would screen him through the factoring company. So it's pretty much the same process for customers, carriers, and loads. All the documents are going to stay, all the load documents are going to stay with the loads, all the carrier documents are going to stay with the carriers, and all the customer documents will stay with the customers. So that's pretty much how it is. So let's get into rates. Now, remember I told you that this is the national average, the 287, that's the national average. But let's say that's not really the rate. To get rates, you're going to want to get proper rate quotes, you're going to want to go to our rate ascend accurate. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Type in San Antonio to Denver, Colorado. Alright, let's run flatbed. Now you can see here an all-in rate per mile is 328, which is higher than what the national average was. So this is the accurate rate. It's about 330 a mile. That's going from San Antonio to Denver. Now check this out. Let's run this in reverse. Let's run San Antonio here, picking up in Denver. Huh. It's the same. Either it's the same or my computer's not catching up. That's funny. Let's try Tampa to San Antonio. Get rates. So it's $2.78 a mile going from Tampa to San Antonio. Let's do this in reverse and go from Tampa, or go from San Antonio to Tampa. So these rates are $2.78. Going the opposite way is $3.23. So it kind of varies, and it varies on supply and demand, like how much supply is in Florida and how much supply is in, how much truck capacity is in the region. So rates can vary depending on where you are. So you always want to check up here before you're making a quote. You want to check on your rates. You can see a load from going from San Antonio to Tampa would pay almost $4 grand. So that's the rates. Let me close the video here.